and being the actual state of mind in California, without these studies, projects cannot move forward due to litigation opportunities being afforded the situation. It is very unfortunate that it comes down to us having to assume the responsibility to do this water study. And I don't believe anybody is more disappointed in the lengthening of the time frame than I am. I ran on a slate that within this first term of mine, these plans would be done. I pushed hard to get that done. It's unfortunate in the length of time that we've been working on it, other things have been thrown into the mix, such as the water study, such as greenhouse gases. But it is also my common sense appeal that you do a document correct the first time. You don't rush it through to get it done. You do the best you can, but you provide to the public the most complete document. To do that, it's going to take some time. I'm not trying to swing anybody's opinion. I believe I've already heard at least 2 disappointments expressed. I'm the third. But to rush through a project just to get it done because it's been hanging out there so long, I don't think is correct either. So I believe we have to move forward with the water study. I believe we have to move forward with the greenhouse gas study. Otherwise, they're not going to be approved, and we're going to continue to waste time, effort, and money. It's not pleasing to me. It's quite the bitter pill for me to swallow, but I would much rather have the document done correctly the first time than to either be possibly tied up in litigation, but most certainly not approved at the back end of the document. So I understand the frustrations. I understand the concerns and the disappointment and the anger. But as I previously stated, I think it's a necessity that we have to take this path. Let me go to CEO first, John. Tom?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to assure the board that we do take the work plan seriously. This is our attempt to give you a realistic schedule. We reserve the right that some of those items, as information becomes available to us, we may change the schedule and accelerate it in some areas. But this is our attempt to give you a realistic picture of what's going on with the 4 elements that we're dealing with. I have full confidence in the staff that are working on all of this. If you look throughout California, nobody does a general plan. Unfortunately, that's part of what's broken in California, in my opinion, is the state requires so many things from us. We were at CSAC in December last year, and the Attorney General of California, Jerry Brown, said, if you don't have this in your general plan, we will sue you. That's coming from the state of California Attorney General. We are reacting to a lot of the pressures and changes in the environment that we're dealing with. We think we have the right team in place, and we're going to give you a document that withstands any legal challenges and fulfills all of the commitments that the regulatory process puts before us.
Supervisor Pinchot.
The reason I bring this up, because this water study is really the crux of why we're going to go beyond the December 2008 deadline. That's the main thing. And, you know, we're asked to spend $100,000 for a 90-day study, and my point is, if the LAFCO was the push of 2 board members on that and everything, if they, in the last 2 years, if they couldn't get the water districts to come forward with this information, what makes you think in a 90-day period this is a consulting firm can get it out of them? And if they don't get that information out of all of them, then it's going to be an incomplete water study, and so it's going to be worthless, and so you're just going to be as likely to get sued as if you didn't have anything. So to me, this is just an opening salvo to start spending a whole lot more money, because maybe if you went into these water districts and offered to pay for and do the MSRs for them, that's probably ultimately what you're going to have to do, and I don't know what that's going to cost, because I don't have what this agreement with Weston Yost Associates is, but I'm sure it doesn't have anything in there that says that they're going to do the water studies, the MSRs for all of the water districts, and how many water districts there are in this county. So I think this is just an opening salvo to spend a lot more money. And frankly, if I was consultant, I'd love to get this initial contract because I can see it opened up into a whole lot more. So I don't know if I want to move forward on that until I really know some of the particulars, because I can just see it's an open-ending deal. And back to my main point is, if LAFCO wasn't successful for the last 2 years in getting this, what makes us think that a contractor, a consultant, is going to get this all put together and done in 90 days? And that's what's being proposed here.
Thank you, Supervisor. Ms. Glassy?
Okay, one more clarification. We're not talking about doing MSRs for them, but we are talking about the consultant doing the study and the research that needs to be done. It's my understanding that some of the costs of MSRs could be borne by LAFCO, et cetera, and it's not my understanding that that's been pursued. But I'm not going to get into that. We are committing to this part of it, and you know, I want to say that if it's simply a matter of skill or will, you've got a planning team and a group of people that's very dedicated to moving this through. What we've seen is it's not, that there are other items beyond our control, and the way we set up the water study, there's a very clear scope of work. We've talked about timeframes and delivery, and it's our intention to manage this contract, and it is our intention that these contracts represent the costs of completing these projects.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, all we're dealing with, this board will today on our consent calendar, is actually the spending of the $99,000, just under $100,000. This board doesn't deal with, you know, we don't even get to see what's in this contract. And you just said that it's not up to the consultant to deal with the MSRs for the water districts. But without the MSRs, you can't complete this water study analysis. So, and my point is, if it's not the consultant that's going to do it, then who's going to do it? And there's going to be a cost there, and that's not concluded in this contract. And in either case, if somebody did offer up to do it, I don't believe that they can all be done and put together in 90 days. So that makes this whole time schedule that's even presented for us here today way off.
First of all, we're talking about Ukiah Valley area, so this is not countywide. There are a number of water districts here, but it is not all the water districts in the county. The other thing is, this contract is not to do the MSRs. It doesn't mean that there isn't some information that's going to be gained through the study, that information could be used in the MSRs. So one of the hopes is that by doing this study, it might actually give a boost to the completion of MSRs. It's just that this consultant is not responsible for doing the MSRs themselves. They have a specific duty to do this analysis for the UVAP EIR.
And if they come back with just part of the information, then you're going to be challenged on a study that only has dealt with part of the information, and this is just as worthless as not having any study, is my point.
I'll reserve comment. Let me go to public comment on this item. I invite the public to step forward. If you have any comments, please come forward to the podium, state your name, keep your comments 3 minutes if possible, and